Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, we are ranking all of the Natasha Lester books that I have read. And there are 9 books, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 books. One of which I do not have a physical copy of. I tried a new way of ranking it. I am not including it in as a clip in this video, just because this was my trial video for that ranking style. And for that ranking site, it's linked down below in the description. I found it from What My Killer Reads. And we're just going to go into this. Maybe for the next video, I'm going to try to, the next ranking video, I will try to include a clip of that. I need to that fall. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, that's what my sister was talking about. She thought she heard something fall this morning. Okay, figured that out. Anyway, so maybe for the next video, I will try to include a clip of the ranking itself and that process, because I had a really good time doing it. Since this was more of a test video, I was just like, let's just get the ranking and then do the video. So I have StoryGraph open on the side over here. So if you see me kind of look over here for a moment, that's why. And we're going to get into this. I'm going to talk a little bit about the books, just so we can kind of get a feel of them. So, the first, I'm ranking them, it's from least to most favorites, based on the ranking, so from bottom to top, and that's how it's down below in the description. The very first book is my lowest book from Natasha Lester, and then the last book in that list is the highest. And also, I've read 9 books. I think there are like 14 books in total, 5 of which I have not read, and those are her books pre-2018, so pre the Paris Seamstress. And I thought about it, I might read those other books. It's just I did read one of them. I read her very first one, and based on that one and the descriptions of the other books pre-2018, I don't think they're my style. Like, everything the Paris Seamstress and afterwards has been my jam from Natasha Lester, and she is one of my auto-buy authors. She's one of my favorite authors. It's one of those things where it's like, I have a feeling, I'm like 95 to 100% certain that her backlisted books, one of which I'm going to talk about, are not my cup of tea, which is fine. And I'd rather support her and otherwise buy her recent stuff. So that's what we're doing. And with all of that said, let's get into ranking the 9 books that I've read from her. At the lowest, and in 9th place, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, in 9th place is What Is Left Over After. And this one I gave 3.5 stars to. Also, little side notes before we get back into it. All of Natasha Lester's books, except for this one and then one other, I've given 5 stars to. And for a majority of these, I probably would change my rating. So I will tell you the star rating that I gave them, and that if I were to change them, I will let you know what I would give them. Just because, like, when I first started reading Natasha Lester, I first read the Paris Orphan, and that was what got me back into reading fiction, because I went through a phase of reading on only nonfiction and then mythology, and like, that was something that I just imposed on myself. I was just like, I'm only reading history, nonfiction, and mythology. And like, I wouldn't say like, oh, if you don't read these things, like, you're better. Like, no, I would never say that. It was just like a me thing and something I internalized. And Natasha Lester, part of the reason why she's one of my favorite authors and an auto-biographer for me, is because she got me back into fiction. And for all of her books, like this whole stack for me, 2018 through 2026, like, it has been banger after banger for me. Like, she's hit it out of the park every single time between the Paris Seamstress and the Chateau on Sunsets. And while I would change my star ratings for some of these, like, I would not, like, the way I would describe them would be exactly the same, and the way I would read them, while maybe a little bit more nuanced, would have the exact same sentiments. So getting back on track, in ninth place is what, like I said, what is Left Over After. This one I gave 3.5 stars to, just because, like, again, like a lot of her backlist books pre 2018 are not really my cup of tea. It's more lit fic and contemporary fiction, and contemporary fiction and lit fic, contemporary fic and lit fic are not my genres. So yeah, that's one. And pre 2018, a lot of her books are contemporary fiction, a little bit lit ficky, a little bit of romance. So it's like it's not my thing. But in What Is Left Over After, you're following Gael, Gaelle, a 30-year-old beauty editor for a fashion magazine, and she's ambivalent about motherhood, and she sleeps around not because she doesn't love her heart surgeon husband, Jason, but because the very fact that love is a terrifying thing. She finds it easier to keep moving in the heart and in the mind than to stay still and know who she is. So it's like this is contemporary romance somewhat. And I think part of it, for this one at least too, a bigger component was the cheating aspect, which, like, it's one of those things where it's like cheating, it's not my cup of tea, and it's not something that I can look past easily, even in fiction, because, like, at the end of the day, there is no good reason for cheating. And I'm of the mind that you can sympathize with any person, so it's like I can sympathize, but that doesn't mean sympathy and excusing is not the same thing. Sympathy for a person and excusing their actions are not the same thing. Like, I think a perfect example, excuse me, perfect example, her, Kikyo from Inuyasha. I absolutely hate her. I absolutely despise her character. But I can 100% sympathize with her character because of how she is brought back into the story and her role in the story for the beginning part when she was brought back, and also, like, her whole role and figuring out what exactly happened. So, like, I don't want to give too much with Inuyasha, but it's been out for a while, so it's like at this point it's not really that spoilery. Anyway, so like Kikyo is a good example. Like, I can sympathize with her and her backstory, but I'm not excusing her actions because she does really shitty ass fucking things. And it's kind of like the same with this, where it's like the cheating aspect. Like, I can sympathize where the main character is coming from, the FMC is coming from, and like not wanting to settle, being scared of love. I can sympathize with that, but that does not make the cheating excusable. And I'm not saying that Natasha Lester does that in this book. She doesn't. It was just like, this is our, and I'm also not saying that all characters have to be likable. Your main characters do not have to be likable. Like, side characters do not have to be likable. Again, Kiko is a perfect example of this. Unlikable characters can be a really great sign of a well-written character, which Kikyo absolutely is. And again, like, I think the idea behind What Is Left Over After was a good idea. It just was not for me. And cheating is not something that I like seeing, even in fiction. So it's like, there was that disconnect for me. And it just, I couldn't get into it again. Just like the cheating aside, like the genre is not for me. Like, it was like, and I'm pretty sure this was her first book. So it's like, I think it was like that just starting out kind of deal as well. So to move on to find this book in the list, the but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you'll see me counting a few times. Book in 8th place is the Mademoiselle Alliance. I think I'm going to give you the blurbs because I think most of these books have blurbs. I'm just going to give you the blurbs. How does a young Parisian mother, celebrated for her beauty and glamour, come to lead the largest spy network in occupied France? So, funny story about this one. I actually kept forgetting about this one. What would happen? This came out, when did this one come out? 2025. I think it came out like early 2025. And I saw it and I forgot to pre-order it. And I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to pre-order. And then I just kept forgetting to pre-order. And then I would see it again. I saw it like mid 2024. I first saw it mid 2024. And then I was just like, oh, I need to pre-order it. Forgot to pre-order it. Would see it again on my feed. Oh, I need to pre-order it. Forgot to pre-order it. And then I was just stuck in that cycle of like, oh my gosh, I need to pre-order it. And then I would forget. And then it come mid 2025. When did I read this actually? Yeah, come mid 2025. I was like, you know what? I need to just get this book. So I went to my Barnes and Noble. They were supposed to have it in stock. And I went to my local Barnes and Noble, the one I usually go to. And then I went to the section, since historical fiction is usually just fiction. I went to that section, went to the L's and saw it. And I think this was the only copy or one of two copies. Which in my mind is a sign, usually. I've done it with other books where if it's the only copy, I'm like, I'm getting you. I did really enjoy this, and also, slight side note, I do think the placing for all of these books, I was thinking of like maybe like switching it around a little bit, but I was like thinking about it, I was like, no, all of these placements make sense. And just because like these, like just because this one's in 8th place, even what was left over after is my least favorite one. And so 9th place makes sense, but starting with this one and on, all the placements make sense because it's like, I was really like factoring in, at least aside from Chateau and Sunset, for most of these, it's like, how much do I like really talk about these? And like, how often do I mention them on my channel, and how often am I inclined to mention them on my channel? And so like, it fits, the ranking fits within those questions. It also fits with how I feel about them. Oh, I gave 4 stars to this one, which, yes. So Mademoiselle Alliance, getting back on track, I gave 4 stars to this, and I did have a good time with this one. I had a little bit of a harder time connecting with it, and I think maybe I was just at a point where I was just like, I just need to read this. So I might try to reread this one and kind of see how if my feelings change. But right now it fits perfectly at 8th place. I still did really enjoy this one, and I had a really good time with it. So I'm not upset, but like, maybe I wasn't in the right mindset for it at the time, and maybe I was just trying to read it just to read it, especially before the end of 2025. So it's like, certain things make sense for the placement. So yeah, I might try to give this one a try again later. Absolutely loved it though. Really great book. Okay, so next up, I am also going to try to put the books away as I go. Some of them I know the place for. I organize my books by height, so I might not be able to put them all back perfectly, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, so the next book is The Riviera House, and the blurb for this one: a lush and engrossing novel of one woman's quest to keep Nazis from stealing priceless art during World War II, perfect for fans of Kate Quinn and Kristen Hanna. I do want to try to read Kristen Hanna, so if you have any Kristen Hanna recommendations, or like based on like my channel, if you've watched other videos, or basically even on this video, if you read any of these books. And anyway, so based on this video or my other videos, if you have any specific Kate, I was about to mix up their names, Kristen Hanna Rex, comment down below. So like, this one again, it makes sense for 7th place. This is 8th, 7th. This makes sense for 7th place because it's like, I love this one. I do. All of these books, I will say this, I'm going to be saying I love this one a lot in this video. And this one, like, I think part of it is Natasha Lester's command of making you visualize everything and being able to make you visualize things. And this one, the setting it's the same, like a lot of her settings in her books, aside from the Chateau and Sunset, and then what is left over after. Like, a lot of her settings are in Australia, Paris, and in the US. And this one, you're on the French Riviera, so it's like, it's not quite Paris, but like, you are in Paris, but you're also in the Riviera. And so it's like, there's that slightly different additional setting, and just like how the characters weave into these different places and weave in with each other, like, yes. So this one does hold a special place in my heart, but like, I think part of it is because it was it had a slightly new setting. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Fits in 7th place. This one goes right here. Um, Next up is The Paris Secret by Natasha Lester. This one, I love this cover so much. I will say, I love this cover. Blurb. 4 women bound by war, an unspeakable sacrifice, and enduring love, and a priceless legacy. Like, I love this book. And this one, I feel like it's kind of funny because I've been watching more videos that recommend books that have more like celebrity gossip type deal. Like, if you think of like the Kardashians or shows like the Kardashians, I've been watching some videos that recommend those more. I know I won't like those, so it's like I don't read those. But like this one, I feel like it's kind of in a similar vein of celebrity gossip and celebrity drama, but it handles it in a really good way. And again, you're still in that dual. All of her books, again, aside from What Is Left Over After, the Mademoiselle Alliance, and the Chateau and Sunset, all of them are dual timeline. So it's like you have the two timelines, you have the interconnected history between the two timelines and between the generations. And like this one, I love this one so much. Like, I'm glad she's blonde. I love it when a blonde gets on the cover. Anyway, so it's like this one. I do think it's kind of funny because like I don't remember a whole lot about this one. And when I was reading the description, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember this one. But it's like the I did really enjoy this one, and I had a really good time with this one. I remember loving it. This one I gave 5 stars to. This would probably be closer to a 4 stars, 4.25 stars. Um, and on like largely because like again looking back on it, not that I expect to remember every single book I've read. I've already read like 60 something, maybe close to 70 books this year, and there are some that are sticking out more than others. So it's like I don't expect to remember every single book that I've read, especially over the course of however many years. And like this one, I do like looking at the description, I can be like, okay, yes, I do recall. But like in comparison to the rest of the books on this list, it's like this one definitely is fitting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. Because like this one, I could probably recall a little bit better than the Riviera House. So it's like it does bump it up because of that. And also too, I was a bit more invested in the storyline than the Riviera House. But also just like the recall. So it's like I do really enjoy this. Now where was this one? Was it? I don't think so. I'm just gonna start sticking stuff up there because excuse me. I have some books like kind of like organized like this where I could do a layer. And I think this one goes in front. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th place is The Chateau and Sunset, her most recent book. I gave this 4.5 stars, 4.5 stars, and this would probably sit 4.5. I don't know if I'd bump it up to 4.75 stars, but it definitely sits at a good 4.5 stars. And I think a large part of what knocked it down for me because I did really enjoy this book, and well, again, we're in my top 5 for Natasha Lester. I think what knocked it down for me was the fact this is a Jane Eyre time. When the lights go down, the secrets come out. It's Jane Eyre set in late 1950s, 1960s Hollywood, and part of what brought it down for me was like there were so many mentions of Jane Eyre, and it's like so the book Jane Eyre exists in this world, which fine. I enjoy it when like other things from our popular culture are mentioned. It gets, and it's also why I don't read a lot of contemporary fiction because that's when it gets a little bit weird when you start seeing mentions of like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook less so. But when you start seeing mentions of like TikTok or Twitter or Blue Sky or something like that, I haven't read anything like that, but I've seen reviews where it's like, oh, this mentioned TikTok, this mentioned Twitter, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. But it's like this, like it mentions books, it mentions songs and stuff, which I'm good with. It's just also something I really like about this book is that there is a section where it's like now showing in the Chateau screening room, so some movie recommendations, and then there's the record playing at the pool, so it's like songs. One of the songs mentioned Wasn't there a Nat King Cole? Maybe not. But it was being okay. The only reason why I thought of Nat King Cole was because I was listening to him earlier today. I love Nat King Cole so much. Swinging It on a Star. I need to listen to that song. It's Bing Crosby. I love Bing Crosby. I love Bing Crosby so much. And then also, who else was mentioned? Ella Fitzgerald. I love Ella so much. I love Ella so much. I have a comic of Ella that I got for Christmas. Where is she? There she is. My sister got this for me. It's like a biography. The official graphic novel. My sister got it for me for Christmas, and I'm so happy. Anyway. So it's like, I do like that. And then also there's, in Aria's library, Aria's our main character, and the first book is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And like, getting back to my point, it's like Jane Eyre, it got to a, Jane, like, I mentioned this in my review, but Jane Eyre, it's not mentioned a whole lot, but it's mentioned enough times where it's like, okay, this would be my only like real critique of Natasha Lester, and it would be in this book, and it's like, okay, we get it, it's a Natasha Lester retelling, and words together. It's like, okay, we get it, it's a Jane Eyre retelling. We do not need to have Jane Eyre mentioned so many times to be like, oh, like there's this quote from Jane Eyre, or oh, like I just got her to read Jane Eyre. I got your daughter to read Jane Eyre. And like even the first quote, is it called the epigraph? It's a Charlotte Bronte quote. So it's like, it, like, again, it doesn't happen a whole lot, but it happens enough times that you're like, okay, we got it. It's Jane Eyre retelling, and Jane Eyre exists in this world. Okay. So again, that would be my only critique of this, where it's like, it was a little too on the nose with the fact that this was a Jane Eyre retelling. Like the occasional mention of like, oh, it's my favorite quote, it's my favorite book, and oh, this is my favorite quote from my favorite book. Like the occasional mention like that. And again, it doesn't happen a whole lot, but it happens enough times that we're like, okay, we get it. But I really enjoyed this one, and funnily enough, I started this one at the beach. I read it this month of July, and I took it to the beach with me. I went to Will Rogers State Beach. I have a video about that. But it's kind of funny because we went down Sunset. We took Sunsets to get to Will Rogers State Beach. And I was like, oh, that was actually quite coincidental. It wasn't intentional. But it's like, it would be funny if I said it was intentional. It wasn't. But that was nice. Anyway, Chateau and Sunset, I really enjoyed it. Next up, these are my top 4. And again, like starting with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starting with Chateau and Sunsets, my top 5 100% make sense for these 5 books, and also make perfect sense in this order. So book number 4 is The Paris Seamstress by Natasha Lester. Oh, the little blurb on the front. Again, like people have been saying this a whole lot, but like let's go back to where descriptions were on the back, please, and thank you, publishers. Anyway, the blurb is on the front. A French seamstress, a British spy, an American heiress, one destiny that begins in war-torn France. I absolutely love this one, and definitely fits in 4th place because the other 3 books, which you can kind of see, are definitely higher. And this one, like, I would recommend this one and all of these books, honestly, if you're trying to get into historical fiction. Like, one thing I will say is that historical fiction is, like, inundated with World War II historical fiction, so I'm planning on a video where I recommend, I'm trying to see, that one would be good. I'm trying to compile a list of stuff where I recommend non-World War II based historical fiction. But this is a good starting place if you're looking to get into it. Natasha Lester's works are a good place. This is actually a good place to start if you don't want World War II, because this is just the 1950s. This is post World War II. Anyway, and then these 4 books, I'm pretty sure I gave them all 5 stars. and they are all very. Let me fix this a little bit. Anyway, they're all very fitting of the 5 stars. So these ones, I would not change the star rating of. But I remember I wrote this after this was published before the Paris Orphan. This was published in 2018, and this was the first one of her like the Paris blank series. I call it. It's not really series. They're interconnected standalones, and again, it's not a series, but you do see characters overlapping between the stories. And I absolutely love this one. This one's precious, and like my babies. So there's Estelle, excuse me, and then Fabienne. Estelle and Fabienne are our main characters for this book, and I love them so freaking much. So that's all I have to say for that one. And again, it's kind of weird because like it fits in 4th place, but it's like I remember again like looking at like the description, I can recall it. It's just if you were to ask me and I couldn't look at the back of the book, I'd be like, yeah, I really liked it. And it said like Paris, it said like Australia, Paris, and France, Paris, and America. And I really loved it. I could tell you like very basic details. But the next book, book 3, again, top 3, very fitting. The next one is The Disappearance of Astrid Bricard. And I love this one. This one, yes, it is dual timeline. And where's a blurb? There's no blurb for this one. So it's set in 1970s in New York, and then she travels to. Okay, I will say, Astrid and Hawk are my favorite couple. One of my favorite couples. Who's the other one? Is his name Anthony? Anthony March, I want to say. His name has to be Anthony March. Anyway. So Astrid, and if we're ranking by couples, it would be the couple in the Paris Orphan, and then they're at the top because again that was the book that got me back into historical fiction, got me into historical fiction and then back into fiction, and then it would be Alix and Anthony, and then Astrid, and you know what? It's basically my top 3 already. So anyway, Disappearance of Astrid Bricard. You're following. In 1970, you're following Astrid, who's on the cusp of fashion and feminism's changing landscape. She and fellow designer Hawk Jones are all over Vogue and the disco clubs, and she would give anything to take her place among the great houses of couture on her own terms. But then she disappears. And then present day, Blythe is the daughter of the fashion's most infamous 70s power couple, and she turned her back on that world years ago. Fate, however, had other plans, as Blythe discovers there's more to her iconic family and herself than she ever knew. And like I would say, like that Blythe, probably like I wouldn't say she's my least favorite main character, but like she's probably a little bit lower on the totem pole with main characters. I did really enjoy her character and her story. It's just at least with all of her 2018 books and later, she's a little bit lower on the totem pole for favorite characters. But I would say she's probably within the top 6 or 7 at least, but she's lower on the totem pole. But Astrid, I love her so much, and honestly, Astrid and Hawk are absolute goals. So, and then book number 2 is The 3 Lives of Alix St. Pierre. Again, Alix and Anthony are couple goals. Like I absolutely love them. They like their relationship would 100% accompany the Woody and Buzz sound bit of you're mocking, like not but there's preschool toys present sound. Um, like that would be 100% their dynamic, like an absolute love. A stunning novel of a Hollywood orphan turned World War II spy turned fashion icon in Paris, and she's an editor for the Dior House. And I absolutely love my girl Alix, and her and Anthony Alix had power couple. Chef's kiss. Um, is this one taller or shorter? About the same. That works. Yeah, let's do it this way. Like I said, I'm trying to put it away as I go, so I don't have to put them all away at the end of the video. I think one of these, maybe it was you. Okay, yeah, maybe it was you. Anyway. And then last, but absolutely not least, in first place, is the Paris Orphan. Can we admire the deckle touches? I think I just hit myself in the face. I absolutely love this book. Again, it's the one that got me back into fiction, back into historical fiction. And this is the reason why I say historical fiction is my favorite genre. Again, do I think it's overcrowded and flooded with World War II historical fiction? 100%. But that will never be to Natasha Lester's judgment. That'll only work in her favor, because hers, I think, like really wins out and tops other World War II historical fiction. Blurb. An American soldier and an enterprising photographer brave occupied France in the midst of World War II to help give a little girl the one thing she's never had, a family. Like this, what is their names? Jessica, Jess, and what's his name? Dan. So Jessica May and Dan Halworth, power couple, and I'm not going to say anything, but Natasha Lester knows what I would have wanted. Anyway, I absolutely love them. It was a very bittersweet ending, and this honestly probably is one of the very few, if not the only book that has had me crying and tearing up. And I would love to be able to reread this, but I do not think I can. Ideally, I would want to reread this, but like I said, I don't think I'd be able to muster the strength to. So, yeah, I'll be right back to you in a moment. Okay, so all the books are back on my shelf. They're right down. Let's see. They're right down here. And 3 of them are in the front, so that's where they are. That is the end of this video. If you've read any of the Natasha Lester books, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, how you rank them. And if you made it this far in the video, let me know who your top 3 auto-buy authors are, your top 3 favorite authors are. Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.